Hey guys, how you doing? So the Jammer has had the mud, I think it was mud, was it? Yeah, mud stripe added around the ridged areas of the Sat V engine part, and the SP Daylight red stripe. I've added some tiny dots of black, which would have been the colour of the egg used for that part of the engine, and revealed the chipping that I did with the Marscol. Then moving on, this I always said was Reefer Grey Dark, this band. Now I do believe that's actually SP Lark Dark Grey. That has a much better tone to it, although it just comes up black in this camera. That is a dark grey. Okay, so that engine is done for the time being before the weathering and extra markings and that sort of thing. Now I'm moving on to the pipe work, and for the pipes, for the initial run of how it looked, I'm choosing 1975 foundation. If you go over to the original, it kind of has that sort of pinkish brown kind of tone to it. So that's what I've used for this, and I'm just building it up in layers. I've got a little pot of white spirit that I'm literally just dipping my brush in. I'll just do it now while we're on the camera, which is going to be a bit tricky, but excuse me while I move stuff about and just roughly show you what I'm on about. So I've got some of the foundation here, and the brush is damp with the thinners, and it's just a case of just letting it find its own path and flow, and you just build that up in layers until you get the right effect. That one's kind of okay, although I have messed it up a little bit because you can see some of the marks where the edge of the paint's sitting, but I'll do that over the whole area here of all the original pipe work, which is along here and down here, and then the added pipe work like here and on the other side, down that side. That'll be probably a mixture of earth or roof brown. I haven't really come to a decision on what I'll use yet on that, but at the moment I will just be building up the layers on this pipe work with the foundation. Okay, so these are the foundation pipe work that I've managed to sort of just put like a wash on, really. So I'm literally just filling the brush with thinner and then dipping that into the foundation and letting it flow along the pipe work. Then I'll darken that up, and the rest of the pipe work will be a possibly like a roof brown or something. I haven't gone into that, maybe even like a earth. But for the time being, this is my interpretation of how I think it looks. Okay, so most of the pipe work is done with a brush. The darker coloured pipes are roof brown, and excuse the brush strokes, they're still drying, and also a lot of that the brush strokes will be eliminated with the overspray and what I'm going to be doing next. So if you look, sorry, I've got to move the camera over. If you look at the front of some of these pipes, there's a hint of overspray from the grey around here. You can see it turns from a more of a pink tone into like a greyish tone. Now I'll just go over it with Lark Light Grey and just soften out this pipe work so it's not so harsh and orangey. So this is going to be the pass with the Light Lark Grey. Just feathering at the edges. And at the back here. on the side. And that just gives that sort of burnt look that kind of appears in the ref. But it's a sort of a long process, so I'll go over it gradually and then show you what it looks like come the finish. So the pipework has been softened out with the airbrush using Light Lark Grey. Just gives just some realistic sort of contrast to the pipework, and also adds the first step of the baby steps of the weathering. And you can see that was used around the back of the dome of the, I think that was a B-52 plane. You can see the staining and the tide mark around the back of that area there. Now I'll try and do that on camera using some wash down Light Lark just on the brush. Sorry, excuse me, I'm doing this cack-handedly holding the brush. I'm literally just going to dab it on around the edge and then hit it with the hairdryer quickly. And then with another brush I can work at that with thinners, which I don't have to hand. Apologies for that. So let me just get some thinners ready. Again, doing this one-handed was ridiculous. I should have had this set up on a tripod. So this is me tipping thinner out of a bottle over the model to try and get my brush wet with thinners, which didn't happen. Don't try this at home. There we go, that's wet. Now I can just hopefully manipulate that ever so slightly. And try and get that tide mark that's seen in the reference pictures. I could have done this much better if I hadn't have filmed it, but for you guys, I'm doing it the hard way. So there you go, that's my quick attempt at recreating that. While I've got the SP Light Lark loaded up in the airbrush, I can see that beyond the sort of egg there, all the way back here, and it fades off, and down there, and probably underneath as well, is some sort of misting. Probably, again, the SP Light Lark, because it's got that brown grey sort of tone, and the black appears to be put on top, so in a strange way it's misting before the final weathering. Usually the other way around, usually get the misting at the end, and it still probably will get some grime misting. But for right now, I'm gonna just mist back from what I can see in the ref on here with the SP Light Lark. This is a very, very thin down mix. This whole side here seems to be quite dark. I'll turn the model slightly so I don't get the weird white patterns. Whoops. Right, okay. I'll keep repeating that if I need to, but there we go. and that's just the start of many areas of weathering and misting and that sort of thing that's going to happen afterwards. The streaking will probably come next.